Morning, everyone. Welcome to the public hearing. Before this public hearing began, I had marked as hearing officers exhibit number 1 in evidence a notice of public hearing in this matter, which is a public hearing concerning the application of North Cross LLC for financial assistance from the Dutchess County Industrial Development Agency. The notice of public hearing indicates that this public hearing will be held today, May 10th at 9:30 a.m. I had marked as hearing officers exhibit number 2 in evidence the affidavit from the Poughkeepsie Journal indicating that this notice of public hearing was run in the Poughkeepsie Journal on April 26th. I had marked as hearing officers exhibit number 3 in evidence the April 23rd, 2021 affidavit of Jenna Jones indicating that a true copy of the notice of public hearing was served upon Supervisor Aileen Rohr of the town of Hyde Park, upon the superintendent of schools of the of the Hyde Park Central School District, Mrs. Aviva Kafka, and upon the Dutchess County Executive Honorable Marcus J. Molinaro. I had marked as hearing officers exhibit number 4 in evidence the April 21st, 2021 letter of Vice Chairman Mark Doyle of the Dutchess County Industrial Development Agency appointing me the hearing officer in this public hearing. And with that, I will open the public hearing. Does anyone on behalf of the applicant want to make a short statement?
Hi, thank you. This is Lauren O'Neill on behalf of North Cross LLC. I'd like to thank everyone for their time and attention to the matter. I know at the preliminary hearing, there were a couple open concerns. We have worked with the IDA to address those, including the revision of the lot lines in order to solidify the project's classification as a commercial project, as well as we've been talking through some additional incentives. So I'm happy to take any questions from the public or listen to any concerns. We want to make sure this project is working out in everyone's best interests as we move forward.
Okay. Does anyone from the public want to be heard? Mr. Beretta?
Yeah, hi, good morning. So I sent in written comments. Hopefully you received those.
Yes, I've received them. They went to Sarah. She sent them on to me. And
all right, thank you.
They will be sent to the board with the transcript, so they will see it.
All right, good, thank you. I'm opposed to the granting of the financial assistance. In general, I feel that these projects that get financial assistance are just a transfer of tax burden to the rest of the tax-paying public. This particular project is only going to, according to their application, is only going to add 3 jobs. I hardly see that is justification for this.
Yeah, three permanent jobs. Yes.
Right. Three permanent jobs. The preliminary vote was interesting. Or I should say the vote for the preliminary approval was interesting in respect to Vice Chairman Mark Doyle's vote, which was initially no, until he realized that they needed a quorum and there were only 4 voting members present. And when he realized that he scuttled the vote for the preliminary approval, he quickly changed his mind to vote yes, when there was no additional information or changes to the information that was given. So it was clear that he only changed his mind because he didn't want to bear the burden of scuttling the preliminary approval. So I don't know what that says.
But it was for a preliminary approval so that it could go forward to a public hearing and allow the public to comment. But the final vote will come when the board meets on this project. But yes, you're correct.
Right. Nonetheless, it was a vote, and he had some reservations that caused him to vote no until he realized that he bore the burden of of the preliminary approval not passing. Chairman Dean keeps modifying his position on whether a third-party consultant is needed. First, he said that the board was growing more and more uncomfortable, especially with residential projects. Then it became residential with commercial. So, exactly what his position is, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure what sort of direction the rest of the board is getting on this. The other thing, two members of the board have a conflict of interest with this project, and they rightfully, said that, and they recused themselves. And there's a third member who announced that he has property across the street from this. So, there's just a lot of relationships here that are also questionable in my mind. So that will conclude my comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Signanelli, do you have something to add?
Yes, I would, and I will be sending momentarily my written comments to Ms. Lee. So I am also opposed to the issuance of any financial assistance to this project. I don't believe it is needed. The project's likely to be profitable even without assistance due to the low apartment vacancy rates in the county. And even the 2020 Dutchess County Rental Housing Survey prepared by Dutchess County Planning notes that the low vacancy rate for apartment rentals benefits landlords. Also, there's no manufacturing or commercial component to this project. It's 50 residential units, and application materials show 3 new FTEs will be created over a period of 2 years. Potentially higher density on this project could eliminate the need for IDA financial assistance. At the April 14th meeting, this was brought up by board member Picone. He wondered if higher density would not require the developer to seek relief from the IDA. And board member Torrigiani immediately answered the question, saying he had property across the street, and this is the only approach. It remains to be seen if Mr. Torrigiani, who owns Key Construction and Key Interiors, will be submitting bids for this project, as was the case with the Amazon project in East Fishkill, where Mr. Torrigiani voted to approve the Amazon project and then subsequently submitted quotations to the project, which then required the disclosure of a conflict when that Amazon agreement was to be modified. Also, they talk about in the application materials, if they get IDA approval, they consider discounted rental rates for targeted workforce populations. But they use phrases like that the developer would be motivated to and is committed to providing discounts, but without a legal agreement stating that such discounts will be provided, and without details such as the number of discounts, the rate of discounts, and the income limits for the workforce population, they're under no obligation to provide those discounts. And income limits, if they do agree to that in writing, then there should be income limits, because not all targeted workforce populations, as defined, firefighters, teachers, whatever, need subsidies. For example, the Arlington Fire District firefighters in 2020, the majority earned more than $100,000 in wages, as much as with the highest wage being over $175,000. So you can't just make a blanket statement that targeted workforce would be firefighters included. There should be income limits. And again, there should be something legal. Also, speaking of the FTEs that are to be created, they wouldn't, 2 of those jobs are projected at $45,000 a year salary. And according to the county's rental housing survey, in order to have to afford a 2-bedroom market rate apartment in a complex the size of the North Cross project, you'd have to have an annual income of $70,000. So 2 of the 3 FTEs that are created by this project couldn't even afford to live in the complex on their projected salary. So at minimum, the IDA should require an affordable housing component when they're giving financial assistance to residential projects. Also, about the vote by Mr. Vice Chairman Doyle, the fact that he flipped his vote the way he did, in spite of the couching by Attorney Capolino, the point is,
I'm sorry. Couching, what was I doing?
your explanation.
Okay, but go ahead. I'll respond when you finish, please.
Okay. In spite of that, he changed his vote with no new information provided. And, you know, again, that does just not say much for the thought process of board members. It just seems like the board members are there just to approve projects, and regardless. So, and my last point is that the financial assistance in the form of tax breaks shifts the tax burden to the remaining base, often leading to higher tax bills for all other residents. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, I don't have anything to say. Does anyone, the applicant, want to address any issues here?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you, Mr. Capolino. To Mr. Beretta's and Ms. Tiganelli's points about they seem to believe the only benefits that will be derived from the project are the 3 permanent jobs, but the project itself, and this was based on us paying a lower tax. We had a market study done and at our own cost for this project. And these numbers are based on us receiving a pilot, but which we are not. We'll be paying our full property taxes. The project is braced to generate at least a cumulative $12.5 million in revenue to the municipal government, compared to the $5.5 million in costs. So not only will it be generating those jobs and the homes, there will also be at least $7 million in revenue over the next 15 years from the project into the local government tax-wise.
Can you indicate that you have, I'm sorry, your picture's frozen. I don't know whether your connection is lost here.
Is it restored now?
Yeah, if you would.
Okay.
Please.
Great. Yeah, so the project will generate at least $7 million in revenue to the local government. And that was back when we were still looking at a pilot as an option. So that discounts a lot. I would say it's actually almost double that. To Ms. Tiganelli's point on the workforce housing, we did come to an agreement with the IDA over the past week that we will be setting aside 10%. We will guarantee 10% of those units will be workforce housing. I'll take into consideration the income limits. We can regulate that internally. I mean, as long as they can afford the rent, there's no reason why we wouldn't limit it. So another thing is that both parties, I believe, said that increasing the density of the project would make it unnecessary that we receive this assistance. First of all, I mean, everyone knows the cost of materials has just risen astronomically, at least 30% over the last year and a half due to COVID. I really don't think we could pursue this project without the incentives. And I'm not sure where people are getting that idea that we could. But if we increase the density, it would completely change the characterization of this project and no longer make it what Hyde Park in that specific area is looking for. So, you know, it's really a give and take. We could build 300 units. We love building 300 units. We would love to do it, but it would completely change the characterization of the project and not make it fit into the area. I mean, that's why these kinds of incentives exist, to make projects that can make everyone happy. It's about compromise.
It's taken several years to get to the approval stage of the project, which we're fully approved now. In addition,
I'm sorry, sir. I'm having a hard time hearing, and I don't know who you are.
yes,
This is Finn O'Neill from North Cross LLC.
So we've maximized the density allowed as per the zoning, and the approval is fully granted. I doubt very much that Hyde Park would consider variances to increase the density. And as Lauren just pointed out, it would change the character of the project. I think it's very well designed, conceived, and approved as it is. And it doesn't make any sense to talk about increasing density.
And finally, you indicate in your application that construction jobs of 20 to 40 construction jobs, is that true? Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say an average of 30 full-time jobs during construction is a pretty good guess. That can get to 40, maybe even 45 and 50 at some points, but 30 is probably a very good average.
Okay.
Based on our experience.
All right.
That's based on our experience, and our experience is within the Hudson Valley region. I quickly, if everyone will indulge me, we also garner our supplies almost exclusively locally, and I have the numbers. So that's $14.6 million in local income due to supplies that this project can expect to generate during the first 2 years of construction. And the year following, we can expect $3.4 million increase in local income. So yes, directly we have 3 jobs, but indirectly there's a lot of revenue entering the local area.
There's also a lot of service that would go on with that, landscape and anything else that we would be doing there to maintain and keep the property. So indirectly, there's quite a few jobs as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. Does anyone else have anything to say with that? Well, I will now close the public hearing. Thank you for your comments. And Francis, would you please do an expedited transcript for the board? Thank you.
Yes. Can I ask who Mr. Dita is? Because I don't have your name. You're on mute.
Turn your mic on, please. Yeah, there you go.
Francesca Sedita from Babiar is Fran.
Oh, it's Francesca. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot you were sitting in with us. Sorry. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time.